Hi there! In this video, I'll tell you in more detail how to use mass warning suppression in the PVS Studio plugin for Visual Studio and CLI tools for different platforms. This video relates to C++, but if you'd like to watch the static analysis for C# or Java, feel free to follow the link in the description. In short, mass suppression is usually used to hide warnings after the first run in order to simplify the integration of static analysis. For more information, see the pop-up message on the right. Here is a report with warnings after the first run. Let's highlight a few errors. To do this, hold down Ctrl and click on the warnings. You can also select several warnings at once with the Shift key held down. To suppress them, click on the right mouse button and select Add Selected Messages to Suppression File in the context menu. Now let's suppress all remaining warnings. To do this, let's open an additional toolbar and select Suppress All Messages. This way, all warnings detected by the analyzer will be included in the suppression file. Next, we'll need these warnings, so let's get them from the suppression file. To do this, click on the extensions in the upper toolbar, then select PVS Studio, then Suppress Messages. In this window, select our suppression file, which stores the warnings suppressed in the project. By default, it is located in the root of the project and is named the same as the project itself. In our case, it is ppss.pp.suppress. So select it and click on Unsuppress from Selected. Now, after restarting the analysis, all warnings return to their place. But what if you want to hide only the messages that are currently visible in the log? For example, if you have hidden high-level messages and you would like to suppress the remaining messages, then go again to Extensions, PVS Studio, Suppress Messages. There are two buttons at the bottom right, Suppress All and Suppress Filtered. When you click on the first one, you will hide all warnings, and when you click on the second one, you will hide only those that are currently visible in the log. It's also possible to output previously suppressed messages in the log without removing them from the suppression file. To do this, click on the checkbox, Display Suppressed Messages. Now close this window. As you can see, those messages that were suppressed but were output to the log are crossed out. You might have a question. If you change the code in the file, the errors will shift and warnings will appear again? No, this will not happen, because the suppression file stores the hash of the string, so the shift of the string doesn't affect the occurrence of the error in any way. However, if you change the code in the error line or adjacent lines, then the message will be displayed again. Let's choose one of the suppressed warnings. Now let's change the code next to it a bit and run the analysis for the file. As you can see, the error is back in the log when the adjacent lines got changed. Now let's look at the process of suppressing warnings in CLI Windows. Let's run the analysis. To do this, use the T flag to specify the solution you want to analyze and the platform. In my case, this is x64. I will also specify the project using the S flag and display the current status using the progress flag. After analysis, all warnings will be written in the ppsspp.block file. Using the plug converter utility, we convert the report to HTML. To do this, we'll specify the render type using the T flag and our file with warnings. Here's the conversion result. As you can see, there are quite many warnings here. So let's suppress all the warnings. Let's go back to the command we used to run the analysis. Add the Suppress All flag and use the Suppress Only mode. We also need to explicitly specify the output file, so we'll use the O flag to do this. Now all warnings are suppressed, but to update the log, in our case to see it empty and clean, we need to run the analysis again. Convert the report to HTML. As you can see, we did everything right. However, there is another way that will allow us to run the analysis and suppress everything by calling a single command. Remember what I said about the Suppress All flag mode? We already know the first one, it is Suppress Only. The second and last one at the moment is Analyze and Suppress. In short, it first starts the analysis, saves the warnings to a file with the analysis results, and then adds them to the suppression file. Let's take a look at it live. Now I have a clean project which wasn't analyzed. Let's write a familiar command that I used to suppress last time, only with one exception. The mode of the suppress all flag was changed from suppress only to analyze and suppress. After execution, we have two files, ppsspp.block, which stores a list of all warnings, and ppsspp.suppress, which stores the same warnings for future suppression. We won't wait long and will bring this feature closer by running this command again. But first, we will make sure that ppsspp.block is not empty by converting it to HTML. Indeed, everything is in place. Okay, then back to our command. So we run the analysis again. Now convert the report. And now look at what we have in the report. We see exactly what we expected, a clean log. If we get a new warning, then it will be included in both the report and the suppression file. The same as with the Visual Studio plugin, if you change the code, you will see the warning again next to the suppressed warning. This is a common behavior, so I will not focus on it further. In order to return all the warnings from the suppression file, it is enough to delete it and restart the analysis. Since I didn't specify a specific name, my suppression file has a default name. In this case, it is ppsspp.suppress. Let's delete it, restart the analysis, and convert the report. All messages are back in place. Now it's time for Linux and Mac OS CLI tools. PVS Studio Analyzer has the same logic for suppressing warnings. We need to provide a file with the analysis results, and the utility will suppress warnings from it. So let's start by running the analysis. To do this, we go to the root of the project, select the Analyze mode, and specify the number of desired execution threads. In my case, 8. After that, we will get a file with the analysis results, which we'll continue using. Let's use conversion to check the report contents. As you can see, everything is in place. To suppress warnings, we need the suppress mode. Here is a list of its flags. The first flag is Analyzer. You can use it to specify the warning level that you want to add to the suppression file. For example, GA1,2 suppresses only the main warnings of the first and second levels. The next flag is File. You can use it to specify the files that you want to suppress warnings from. Just keep in mind that it is the source file that are specified, not the files with the analysis results. You can specify this flag multiple times if you want to suppress warnings in multiple files. If you do not specify it, all files will be used. And another similar flag, Warning. It allows you to specify the diagnostic numbers required for suppression. Just like the previous flag, you can specify it several times. Now let's suppress warnings in the entcpp file. To do this, let's specify it using the F flag. Now we'll restart the analysis and convert the report. Great! As you can see, the warnings from this file are gone. By combining these flags, you can accurately suppress various warnings if necessary. However, the mass suppression mechanism is usually used to quickly suppress new warnings after the first run, so we will consider this case separately. Let's put all the remaining warnings in the suppression file. To do this, run the suppression command without flags. This way, we will add all the warnings from the report without any filtering. The same as in the case with PVS Studio CMD, in order to return all warnings from the suppression file, just delete it and restart the analysis. Let's delete it, restart the analysis, and convert the report. All messages are back in place. This is how things are with mass suppression in the C++ version of the PVS Studio. Don't forget that you can find links to videos in other languages in the description. If you liked the video, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our new episodes. See ya!